Welcome to the DigiGeek. Today we are going to be looking at PlayStation 5 controller, the DualSense, and the Xbox Series X controller. The PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X will be released sometimes during the holiday season later in 2020. As with all the previous generation consoles, these consoles will come with a new controllers. The PlayStation 5 controller is called DualSense. Yes, DualSense, not DualShock 5. Maybe it's gonna be twice as sensible. We don't know that yet. The Xbox Series X comes with a controller that is named, can you guess it? Xbox Series X controller. Brilliant. Of course, it follows the old tradition of calling the controller by its console name rather than a specific name for the controller itself, like Sony. So let's dive in and take a look at some of the features of these controllers. One thing is pretty cool, that Xbox X went with the backward compatibility, that this controller is going to be compatible with the older generation Xbox One series consoles, and the Xbox One series controllers are going to be compatible with the Xbox Series X console as well. Sweet, that's a pretty good move. While on the Sony side, there's neither confirmation or denial if the DualSense controller is going to be compatible with the previous generation PlayStations, or the previous generation PlayStation controllers are going to be compatible with the PlayStation 5 console. So both these controllers maintain a similar design as their previous generation siblings, the DualShock 4 and the Xbox One controller. There are of course some changes, but the design and the scheme of the joysticks and the button is kept pretty much the same. So if you are going to be upgrading your console, you don't have to learn the new controller. I don't know when we will reach maturity where all the consoles can have the same controller, a standard design across the board. That would be amazing for the gamers. Will that ever happen? I don't know. The DualSense 5 controller for the Sony PlayStation 5 maintains that triangle, circle, cross, square. That is unchanged. There's going to be a light bar and a touchpad that is retained from the previous generation of the controllers. However, the light bar on the controller now is on the edges of the touchpad instead of on the top. So hopefully it's going to be less blinding this time around as compared to the PlayStation 4 controller light bar. The Series X controller maintains the location of its sticks and the D-pad as before, and maintains the configuration of its YBAX buttons. Of course, there's no touchpad on the X series controller, just like before. Anybody who has used DualShock 4 or Xbox One controller will feel right at home if they upgraded their previous generation systems. The Xbox Series X controller now comes with a share button. This is a new feature that was absent on the previous generation controller. DualShock 4 has had this feature and it's carried on to the DualSense controller as well. However, it's renamed as Create button. There are not many details available at the moment, so we will have to wait and see what it exactly creates. So you can share all your pictures, your game clips with the touch of that button. DualSense controller comes with a built-in microphone that would allow you to chat without the need of a separate microphone. However, that is not a feature of Xbox Series X controller. Both the DualSense and the Series X controller come with a haptic feedback that will allow the game developers to adjust the level of vibration the controller produces, and that helps you with the extra level of immersion. Both these controllers come with a 3.5mm headset jack to connect those headphones, hence most of your headsets are going to be supported and will work with these controllers, and hopefully without the need of any extra adapter. A very interesting piece of information about the size of these controllers is that they have been designed for younger gamers, and hence the size of these controllers has been reduced to fit those tiny little hands. A senior Sony executive wrote that the DualSense is made to feel smaller than it really looks. I am not sure what that exactly means, but I will assume that it's a smaller controller as compared to the previous generation. Thinking of it, PlayStation 4 controller was a pretty decent size controller, and if it's further shrunk, I don't know how comfortable it is going to be. And same thing happened with the Xbox Series X controller. On one of the Xbox's blog, a senior executive said that the Series X controller was redesigned to better accommodate hands similar to those of an average 8-year-old. This is going to be interesting. By the way, I personally have always thought that the Xbox One controller size was quite big as compared to the PlayStation 4 controller. I think personally it would be a good change as it would be easier to hold the controller, but time will tell. At launch of the console, the Series X controller will come in a single color scheme, just like the previous generation Xbox controllers. Of course, you can expect in the future that they will launch controllers with different colors and maybe multicolored controllers as well. As for the colors of the buttons, same design and color scheme is maintained. Y button is yellow, B is red, A is green, and the X button is blue. And similar to the previous generation controller, the home button glows white while the controller is powered on. Sony this time around has gone for a dual color scheme instead of a single color controller. The standard controller that will come with the console is going to be white and black. The buttons on a DualSense controller are white and they're devoid of any color. This is weird choice in my opinion because the colors on the triangle, circle, cross, square buttons, they're kind of a trademark, and if you are a fan of PlayStation and have been playing PlayStation games since the PlayStation 1, that is not going to go well with the gamers. I personally am not happy about that as well. Give me some colors. As for the power source for this controller, nothing has changed from the previous generation. The DualSense PlayStation 5 controller is going to come with a rechargeable internal battery that you cannot change without opening up the controller. The Xbox controller will support AA batteries, and of course you can use non-rechargeable and rechargeable batteries in that controller. Of course, in the future there would be battery packs available for the Xbox X Series controller as well. Both the controllers now come with a USB-C connectors instead of the previous generation micro USB connectors. These ports can be used to recharge or connect the controller to the console or PC through a cable. So, how much will these controllers cost? At the moment, not much is known about the retail price of these controllers. However, judging from the previous generation controllers, the price can be expected to be somewhere around $60 US. It's gonna be more for us Canadians here, but that is all pure speculation. So it would be very exciting to see all these consoles coming out by the end of this year. Let me know in the comment section down below what do you think about these two controllers. I hope you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss any new posts. Be safe. Bye.